Welcome to Das Artes. I am Almir Reis, visual artist, painter, digital creator, and your host on this journey through the minds of the greatest masters in the history of art. Here, we go beyond paintings and museums. We explore the emotions, revolutions, doubts, and inspirations that transformed human creativity forever. Tonight, we enter a world of light, reflection, atmosphere, and color. A world where nature itself became alive on canvas. Our guest changed the course of modern painting, challenged academic traditions, and helped create one of the most influential artistic movements of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the master of Impressionism, Claude Monet.
Thank you very much, Almir. It is truly an honor and a pleasure to be here on Das Artes. I must say, your podcast has become a remarkable meeting place for creativity, culture, and artistic thought. Even from my corner of eternity, I have been following the program every Wednesday and admiring the extraordinary conversations you have with such special guests from the world of art and beyond. What you are creating here is more than an interview show. It is a celebration of imagination and human expression. And I am delighted tonight to share this moment with you and your audience.
It is truly an immense pleasure and honor to have you here with us tonight. I personally consider you one of the greatest artists of all time, a visionary who forever transformed the way humanity sees light, color, and emotion through art. Your work continues to inspire millions of artists, collectors, and dreamers around the world, and having this opportunity to speak with you is something very special for all of us. So, shall we begin? Are you ready for our conversation tonight?
Yes, absolutely. It will be a great pleasure to speak with you, Almir, and also to connect with a new generation of people who continue to keep art alive through curiosity, passion, and imagination.
Monet, could you tell us where you were born, where you grew up, and at what moment you realized you had a talent for art?
I was born in Paris, France in 1840, but I grew up mainly in Le Havre, a port city in Normandy. As a young boy, I loved drawing caricatures of people at school and around town. My talent for art became clear when local people actually started paying me for my drawings while I was still a teenager. Later, meeting the painter Eugène Boudin changed my life. He encouraged me to paint outdoors and observe light and nature directly, which eventually became the foundation of my artistic style.
When you were drawing caricatures as a teenager, were you already making money from your art, or was it mainly giving you prestige and recognition in your region?
Almir. At first, the caricatures brought me local recognition and a certain reputation in Le Havre, but soon they also started bringing me money. People enjoyed seeing humorous drawings of familiar faces, and many were willing to pay for them. For a young artist, it was exciting to realize that my talent could both attract attention and provide financial independence.
Let's talk about Giverny became much more than simply your home. It almost seemed to become an extension of your imagination and your art. What did Giverny truly mean to you, and how did that place transform the way you painted and saw the world?
When I arrived in Giverny, I felt I had finally discovered the place where my eyes and my spirit could live in harmony. It was not merely a house or a garden to me. It became my greatest work of art. I shaped the flowers, the paths, the pond, and even the reflections as a painter composes a canvas. The water garden especially changed my understanding of painting forever. In the reflections of the sky upon the water, I realized that nature was never fixed. Everything was constantly transforming with light, wind, clouds, and time. The surface of the pond became like a mirror between reality and dream. That is why I painted the water lilies again and again, not because I was repeating the same subject, but because the subject was never truly the same. Every hour, every season, every change of light created an entirely new world before my eyes. In many ways, Giverny allowed me to stop painting objects and begin painting sensation itself.
Mr. Monet, how did you move away from traditional painting and begin creating a completely new artistic movement that became known as Impressionism? And during that process, Did you ever doubt yourself or feel afraid of taking such risks with your revolutionary brushstrokes and techniques?
I gradually moved away from traditional painting because I felt that academic art was too rigid and disconnected from real life. I didn't want simply to reproduce objects with perfect precision. I wanted to capture light, atmosphere, movement, and the emotion of a fleeting instant. Painting outdoors helped me understand how nature constantly changes from one moment to the next. Alongside artists like Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Camille Pissarro, and Edgar Degas, I began experimenting with freer brushstrokes, brighter colors, and everyday scenes. At the time, many critics considered our paintings unfinished or careless, but we believed we were painting modern life as it truly felt. Yes, of course I had doubts. There were moments when I wondered if the critics were right and whether the public would ever understand what I was trying to do. Our work was often mocked, rejected by exhibitions, and criticized harshly. Financial difficulties also made everything more frightening. But deep inside, I believed that art needed freedom. I trusted my eyes and my emotions more than academic rules. What gave me courage was the feeling that I was painting something honest, not merely copying reality, but capturing its living essence. In the end, those risks became part of what transformed modern art.
Okay, I understand all, but among Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Camille Pissarro, and Edgar Degas, who do you personally consider the greatest artist? And in your opinion, who was truly the main precursor of Impressionism? One of them, or...
Good question. It would be unfair for me to declare one of them the greatest, because each possessed a genius of a different nature. Renoir had an extraordinary sensitivity to human warmth and beauty. Pissarro was perhaps the wisest and most generous among us, always encouraging experimentation and unity. Degas had remarkable discipline and a unique eye for movement and composition. As for the birth of Impressionism, I do not believe it belonged to one single man. It was born from friendship, discussion, rebellion, and a shared dissatisfaction with academic painting. However, I understand why many people associate my name closely with the movement, especially after my painting Impression. Sunrise unintentionally gave Impressionism its name. If I helped open the door, it was because all of us were pushing against it together.
I once had the opportunity to see in person at the Museum of Modern Art your painting Water Lilies. It was an unforgettable experience. In your opinion, is this your most iconic work, or is there another painting you feel represents your artistic legacy even more deeply?
I am very pleased to hear that you experienced my water lilies in person, because those paintings were created to surround the viewer with light, reflection, and atmosphere. They became a lifelong obsession for me, especially in my later years at Giverny. Many people today consider them among my most iconic works, and I understand why. They represent my deepest exploration of color, light, and the endless transformations of nature. However, if one speaks of historical importance, Impression, Sunrise may hold a special place, since it unintentionally gave a name to the entire Impressionist movement. In a way, that small painting changed the course of modern art. So perhaps Water Lilies reflects my soul most completely, while Impression, Sunrise reflects my place in history.
To conclude our conversation with Claude Monet, we will now show some of his most remarkable works, paintings that transformed the history of art and helped open the path toward modern painting. Among them are Impression, Sunrise, the painting that gave Impressionism its name, the Water Lilies series, also known in Portuguese as Ninféas, Woman with a Parasol, and his paintings of the Japanese bridge at Giverny.
Thank you for including his works in this compilation. He would never have imagined that, more than a century later, he would still be so recognized and deeply valued.
And Mr. Monet, tell me, after changing the history of art with your paintings, what do you think about art in today's world? And if you were alive nowadays, do you think you would have social media to share your work and ideas with people?
Almere art today seems extraordinarily free, and I believe that is both its greatest strength and its greatest challenge. In my time, we fought to break away from rigid traditions, and now artists possess possibilities we could scarcely imagine. Photography, cinema, digital creation, and instant communication across the world. What matters most, however, is not the technique, but whether the artist still captures genuine emotion, light, truth, and human sensitivity. As for social media, I confess the idea fascinates me. I spent my life observing fleeting moments of light and atmosphere, so perhaps I would enjoy sharing those moments instantly with others. I imagine I might use photography, short films, or even daily sketches to show how nature transforms hour by hour. But I also believe I would still need silence, solitude, and long contemplation away from noise, because true art is often born in quiet observation.
Thank you, Monet, for being part of our podcast. It was truly an honor to hear your thoughts and reflections today.
Art lives through emotion and light. If my work still touches hearts after all this time, then I could ask for nothing more.
Thank you once again, Monet, for your incredible presence here today. And thank you to everyone who joined us for this very special episode. Don't forget to subscribe, share this podcast, and leave a like on the channel so more people can discover these amazing conversations. And next Wednesday, we'll have a very special surprise guest artist joining us. So stay tuned. Goodbye, everyone, and see you next time.